Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV, and welcome back to part two of the Friday Night Social. This is the final part on the 26th of June. Don't forget, go over, check out part one where we talk about City's performance against Chelsea last night, and we also talk about Liverpool being the title winners. And just go over. It's worth watching it just for Tom's face and reaction, having to congratulate Liverpool. But anyway, this part we're going to talk about two things. One is transfer rumours, in particular Koulibaly, and the other is the usual golden question to finish us off. So the rumours have come out today by, I'm not sure how many of the social network sites are absolutely spot on, but they are picking up on this story, moving it forward to say that Koulibaly wants to join City. The rumoured figures are £72 million, eye-watering for somebody at that age. Whether you agree is we need him right now or you don't, I don't know. We'll find out. But we'll deal with him first. Chris, what were your thoughts reading the Coulibaly rumours today?
I would like him. I know he's quite old, but we need.
I know he's quite old.
for City side.
Not compared to me and you.
Well, yeah, well, you know.
Or Martin.
I thought I'd got away with that one.
But yeah, we definitely need a centre back. It's the most important thing we do. Or so, it's going to be interesting what happens with John Stones, because it looks like he's probably on his way. We don't have seen anything of John. And Nico, what happens with Nico? So are we going to be in the market for three of them? Because we need one, and we'll need replacements if those two go. So I'll be really happy with him. He looks like a strong character, and that's what we need. And I think him and Laporte would be good together. So yeah.
Obviously, in that respect, then, so you're thinking the likes of Howard Bellis, Garcia are going to be just kept for cup games and things like that, I'm assuming.
Well, I hope not, actually, Andy. But I imagine Pep's going to be wanting to win the league next season more than ever. He hasn't really given youth much of a chance so far in the league. So I'm not sure. That's why I would like to see the remaining games, like the likes of Garcia and Howard Bellis, get given a go. I'm quite confident with Garcia. I think he looks like a good ball player. Haven't seen enough of Taylor Howard Bellis, if I'm honest. When I have seen him, he's done all right. Maybe a little bit dawdles on the ball a little bit too long, but he's still young and fitting into that sort of system. But he's got the right attributes to succeed.
Okay, Tom.
I can't. If it's true, and we're going to get Coulibaly, then I think that is one of the best signings we'll have made under this new since 2008. We need somebody like that to go forward and progress on all four fronts without looking shaky. Coulibaly will bring strength, he'll bring character, he'll bring passion, he'll bring attacking threat as well, because he's quite fast when he's coming with the ball. You need somebody like that to partner Laporte, because sometimes Laporte's playing two positions, because he sometimes covers if he's playing with Otamendi or Stones. He's okay with Fernandinho because Fernand knows what he's doing, but in the long term you need somebody that knows what he's doing, and I think that partnership of Laporte and Coulibaly would just be by far the best in the league, because Liverpool only have Van Dijk and it's not really as strong. But if you have the best left centre back in the world in Laporte, and then one of the best right centre backs alongside Van Dijk in the world as a partnership, then I think that is where our problems are not going to be anymore, and I think we'll be okay. And if we're talking about Garcia and Taylor Howard-Bellis, I think Stones and Otamendi will both go this summer, and I reckon those will be the two guys that will replace those guys' positions. And I think Garcia he'll play some of the big games if Laporte's tired or Koulibaly's tired, because I think he has the capabilities to slot in without looking too weak, because he's experienced and knows what he's doing under the ball. So yeah, I'm happy with if we do get him.
Okay. Well, I mean, read before, Stones is back in full training now today. So don't be surprised if we don't see a bit more of him now. The title's gone. Who knows? Maybe even Sunday. But he's back in full training, and everyone's back fit now. Martin, Coulibaly, rumours. I know we discussed it between me, you, and Kiam earlier. But what are your thoughts?
I'm excited. Going to be honest, I think it's a very shrewd signing as well.
Well, we have.
If we do get it,
Let's just put one thing to bed. We haven't signed him. These are just the usual paper rumours. Nothing has been signed, no statements, anything like that from the club. It is just a comment made by Koulibaly that he wants to go to City.
He hasn't denied it either. City normally deny these things.
No, I don't think City will say anything on it.
Well, I mean, well, if he does come, I think he's a very shrewd in the man. I don't think his age is an issue. And I'll tell you why. Garcia and Taylor Howard-Bellis, if you sign a Skriniar, which, don't get me wrong, I'd love, how old is he, 24, 25? Garcia and Taylor Howard-Bellis ain't getting a look in for the next 5, 6, 7 years. You get Koulibaly in for 2 or 3 years. I know the rumours are a 5-year contract, but you get him as a first teamer for 3 years. That's a pathway for Garcia and Taylor Howard-Bellis by the end of it. If you get a young 24, 23-year-old centre-back, Garcia and Taylor Howard-Bellis haven't got a look in for nearly 10 years. So, for me, it's very clever and a very shrewd signing if it happens in favour of Garcia and Howard-Bellis. Now, also...
Just before you go move on to that, just coming back on that point. So you think Eric Garcia is going to sit around at Manchester City for the next 3 years when he's coming up to... He's already getting attention from a lot of pundits and things like that. You think he's going to sit around for 3 years at Manchester City, being a bit part player, the odd bench, the odd League Cup game, if Koulibaly comes?
All right, well, I'll ask you a question. Is Garcia the answer to win a title back?
I never said that. You said that. You said Taylor Howard-Bellis and Garcia. It's perfect for them after Koulibaly leaves in 3 years or. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is if that's the case,
they're going to have to.
Is Garcia going to sit at City on the bench playing the odd cup game here and there for the next 3 years?
He's going to have no choice in the matter because he's not ready now.
Absolutely no chance.
Well, then we have to sell him then.
Yeah, maybe.
Then we have to sell him.
There's no way Garcia
he's not ready now.
For 3
and
years.
If you buy a Skriniar, he isn't going to get in the team in the next 7 or 8 years. So, what my point is he will get in the team quicker with a 29-year-old in front of him than a 24-year-old in front of him. That's my point.
Yeah, and my point back to that was, do you think Garcia is going to sit around for the next 3 years in the hope that he,
Well, unfortunately, this is the trouble with some of these young players. They want it all and they want it now.
Oh, and we don't know that. Garcia might be more than happy to do that. I don't know that.
I would think Garcia is going to do a Foden where he will be happy for 2 or 3 years, learning and building and getting the odd cup game and getting the odd Premier League game. Unfortunately, if he's not happy with that, then we'll have to sell him. He'll have to leave. There's no other choice in it. He's not ready, in my eyes, to go in and win us a title back. He's not ready. And Taylor Howard-Bellis certainly isn't ready. So I understand what you're saying, and that's the conundrum of keeping these youngsters happy. That was why I asked the question a couple of weeks ago on the Friday Night Social. It's such a hard balance to get right. Yeah. But the thing is with Coulibaly, if it happens, I'm going to say if it happens, which we made with the things I've heard and been told, it's 90% on. But on the other side, this is the first time, in my eyes, City have actually shown a set and gone after a world-class player who is a ready-made world-class player. I know KDB and Aguero are now, but we've made them world-class players at City. No, apart from Yaya was the closest person we bought as a ready-made world-class superstar. This is it. And it's about time City stopped messing around with the Harry Maguires of the world. If we're going to act like Real Madrid and Barcelona and all these other teams, we need to start acting like it in the transfer market. And this is the first time we're going to do it.
Well,
It took a long time.
We might do it. £72 million.
Well, how much would he have been pre-COVID? They were looking at 100 million for him pre-COVID.
I think it was 100. I think it was 100 million.
So 30 million off for in my eyes, probably the top 2 or 3 defenders in the world. Yeah, get him in. In the peak of his career, I agree with Tom. There's not a better partnership if he happens than Laporte and Koulibaly. That's going to scare the crap out of some strikers.
You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head there at the peak of his career. He's 29.
We've got to win the title.
And we're gonna pay. We don't have to win the title next season. We could win the Champions League this year and win the Champions League next year.
No, they want the title. This year will have hurt them. This year will.
I'm not saying we won't be going for the Premier. I'm just saying it's not always the be all and end all of everything. But what I'm saying is I'm trying to throw a different argument in. You just said he's at the peak of his career. Well, if he's at the peak now, there's only one place for that to go, and that's that way. And we're going to spend 72 million quid, if the rumours are true, on somebody we might get another really good year or 2 out of him. That's it.
I think you'll get 3.
So we're going to invest. We're going to stunt growth in the team for the sake of a short-term gain and spend 72 million pounds on a player.
But we have to.
Well, this was my point, and that's why I was
yeah.
The Skriniar thing. You could see if it was 70 million for Skriniar, you could go, well, Jesus, he's not even at his peak yet. He's got another 4 years before he hits his peak.
But Garcia won't have a way in then, will there? There'll be no chance of Garcia getting ahead of that.
Yeah, possibly. But this is the conundrum that face where if you take your model, which is we want Galacticos coming into the team, then the youth is getting stunted. It is. So,
Martin, can I ask Martin, would you prefer Skriniar or Koulibaly?
I've always said Skriniar. I have, and I'll tell you for one, because Koulibaly I never thought was achievable to us. It was always United or Real Madrid. We've never been in the conversation with Koulibaly ever. This is
the money was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I want it.
And the thing was, in my eyes, City would never go above £60 million, and I thought they might push a little bit to get Skriniar, but my worry was always that with Skriniar. How is Garcia and Howard Bellis getting in ahead of someone who's 24, 25 years old? We're never going to do it. You look at Ruben Diaz. There's a £90 million release clause to get him out. And that worries me a little bit. If that was 50 million, 60 million. But unfortunately, the way football is now, you're not going to get the top players for 50 or 60 million. They're just not. We've had to up our game a little bit. And the only thing that worries me with it, if we get, nothing's been mentioned on the ban. So it sounds like this deal, if it happens, is going to happen with or without the ban. So does that mean we're paying him a crap load of money to get him guaranteed in the door then? That's my only concern with this. He's gonna have to have been promised. We've got to do a Man United, haven't we? And promised him probably a load of money, whether it's with or without Champions League football here.
So okay, where all right, then I'll ask you back, Martin, another question on that, because that's a really interesting you made there, a very interesting point on wages and salary and things like that. Because let's face it, with FFP and everything, we've still got to be very careful. My worries are not, if we pay it, it's not going to be. If we pay him huge money, it's not going to be an issue because City won't pay him the money unless they could afford it. What will happen though, and always happens, is it disrupts and unsettles other players then. So who would you take in world football right now if you had a choice between Coulibaly and Laporte at City?
Out the two?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to say Laporte.
Okay, so if Laporte's on 120 grand a week and they're offering Coulibaly 350, if you're aiming at Laporte,
you're going to be peeved off. Of course.
Whoa. Who's your first phone call to?
Laporte.
Who's your first phone call to if you're Laporte? Your agent.
Barcelona.
Your agent,
No.
innit?
Yeah, I know.
Your
I
agent.
know,
Your
yeah.
agent. You're gonna go. Hold on a minute here. I'm the number one centre back at City, and now suddenly he's coming at 29 and they're paying him 300 grand a week. I'm on 120 grand a week.
Yeah.
And here, oh, parity. So as much as they love the club, it's like anything. You know, if somebody's doing the same job as you, Chris, and you know, one of your colleagues is getting paid 3 times what you're getting paid, you'll be like, he's doing exactly the same thing. What's going on here?
No, I agree with you, and I don't want to bring this up because I really don't. But you mentioned contracts. Apparently, we've made one last big offer for Leroy, haven't we?
Yeah.
Now, if you're Bernardo, you're sat there going, this guy's pushed you around for 12 months, and you've gone back again with a $250,000 a week, and I'm sat here on what? Where's my loyalty here?
But the difference between the two is that they could quite easily say to Bernardo, show me your 18 goals and 15 assists each season. You start hitting those things.
I'm not going back into this.
You'll get the same. I know the slight.
I'm making the analogy of contracts.
But I think you make a really interesting point, because if he's going to come to City and we still don't know, or whether City have got this confidence that it's not going to be a ban, and what it's going to be no ban, but there's going to be a compensation. You know, we'll have to pay something, or a ban that will be put aside, and we'll pay a fine or whatever.
A suspended sentence.
A suspended sentence, yeah. Let's say a sentence. It's not a sentence, but I mean, let's say a suspended sentence. Well, then Coulibaly leaving Napoli to come to City. If there was a possibility of no Champions League football for 2 years, they must be offering him something to entice him away for that much money, because there'll be other teams out there, United and others.
Apparently, Real Madrid, he's turned Real Madrid down, Barcelona, PSG, Liverpool, and United.
Well, they must have been offering him some big money, and if he wants City, why is he so desperate to come to City?
Well, apparently Pep
in it, yeah.
Now, I understand what you're saying.
Oh, so is he coming? Is he coming for free then? Is he not? Is he going to play for?
No, yeah, I get that. Yes, I understand. The thing is, I would be like you. I'd be a bit sceptical. The reason I'm more confident is it is everywhere. I'm not talking about. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about. It's not just a little rumour.
No.
Every place
I'm just saying, if the rumours are true, then I think the point you made there was a really valid one. Is why is he leaving a team in the Champions League
before we've even had the decision?
So. Oh yeah.
But on the pro side, if it's because of Pep, does that mean Pep's going to stay? He'll be signing a 5-year contract.
Well, that's another good question. You know,
has Pep told him I'm staying?
I don't know. You know, if that is just the sole move, and we get Coulibaly because Pep said I'm staying for another 5 years, let's get him in ASAP.
Last thing, Pep did say last week.
Coulibaly every day of the week.
Say last week, and these were quotes from him. Look at the players we're going to get in the transfer window, we're going back in a title race. So Pep knew something was in the offing. Pep knows the list he's giving in. And so that excites me. If this is the first one, and God knows who's following him after, because it looks like they mean business.
Go on, Tom.
I was going to say, maybe they're bringing Koulibaly in these big signings because the kits are so horrible this year. It might make the kits go very high in like the sellings. If Koulibaly is on the back of all the shirts, they might sell quite a few more kits this year.
Maybe.
I texted Andy that earlier. I said, could you imagine Koulibaly in the Paisley kit being made?
Everybody will buy it. Everybody will buy it.
Gotta buy it.
That's why they've done it.
So, Martin, are you saying that he's coming in to be our best paid player? Is that what you've read?
I don't know about.
No. I don't mean read.
Money.
Right.
For the deal, for people to have the knowledge of the deal as what they have, before we've even had the decision on Cass, either City know the decision on Cass now, or we've offered him a bucket load of money, and the Champions League doesn't mean squat to Coulibaly. Because he's taking a chance, isn't he? Agreeing a move.
Yeah.
Without us even knowing whether we're on a 2-year ban yet. KDB the other week was saying if it's a 2-year ban, I might be walking out the door, but Koulibaly's walking in the door. it kind of doesn't. It's not adding up somewhere there.
That's a good point. It is a good point. It
So
is
it
a
has
very
to be
good point.
money. It has to be money. We must have done what United did with Pogba.
If it's true.
Yeah.
If it's true. I mean,
I
that's
think it's true.
okay. Well, I'm always one of those. I'll wait until he's got a City shirt on and he's on the City website.
And it's still Sane's signing a 5-year deal next week. I don't understand why,
I'll hold my water for now. But anyway, that's Koulibaly. Give us your thoughts. What do you think? For me, 72 million for a 29-year-old. Nah, I'm just not having it. Sorry. And I don't like, if you're paying 72 million quid for somebody, they are getting a shed load of money. A shed load of money. And if I was Laporte, I'd want parity, if I was being honest. And I don't know. Good player, don't get me wrong, good player. But I don't know. I think there are other players I would rather go forward, for being honest. But it is what it is. I know lots of people do want him. Certainly, no disrespect to you, Tom, the FIFA generation absolutely love him. I don't know, for me. I'll wait and see. Could be a great signing for a couple of years. That's without a shadow of a doubt. Because my worry is he is at his peak. And there's only one way when you hit your peak. There's only one way you're going next. And are we going to get 2-3 years, or maybe one more year, 2 years tops? And the next 2-3 years, he's already gone over the other side. I don't know. We definitely do need another centre back. That's without a shadow of a doubt. Maybe. Well, if we need two, then definitely Taylor Howard, Bellis, and Garcia are not having a sniff either. So that it depends on whether you want youth coming through over the next few years, or you just want to buy ready-made replacements, and we become a Real Madrid and clubs like that. And I personally think the way Pep has brought in younger and lowered the age group, I'd rather go down that route, if I'm honest with you, than be buying ready-made 29, 30-year-old players. But give us your comments below. Anybody else, very quickly, quick round robin, anybody else you think we should be going for after, not just on last night's performance, but this season's performances so far? And I know we've done all sort of, players coming in and out and things, but is there anybody else in particular? Certainly after last night, the reinforcing message that our defence is just simply not good enough. Is there anybody else, Chris, that you think we should definitely have, or definitely a position we need to replace for certain? And have you got one name for that position?
Well, there's one position that I think is really tenuous. The only person that I would say at centre back I wouldn't mind seeing, might cover a bit of homegrown stuff as well, is Lewis Dunk. I think he's a good player. Yeah. And I think we could get him for a really good price. Nothing like 78 million. I think we could get him for about 20, after COVID. But I think left back is our real issue. I don't think Zinchenko is a good enough replacement for Ben Mendy. Ben Mendy isn't reliable enough. As in terms of fitness, you could even say as in playing as well. So I think left back is a real quandary for the club, because do you get in a number one left back, somebody to come in place of Mendy, or are you looking for a backup to him, or are we looking really for a utility player? But I'm not sure. But I think left back is a real issue for us. Defense in general, I think we're all right. Maybe a striker as well. We are light on strikers, Sergio's out now, and we've got Gabby and nobody else.
Interesting. Very interesting, because let's face it, it's not even like we're seeing any big new strikers coming through the EDS that you can think, promote him. Like United have got Mason Greenwood, and they've got other. There's nobody really at the club in the EDS that we think, he's banging in goals left, right, centre. Give him a try. Let's promote him. We haven't had that for 12, 18 months, 2 years, where we've seen anything like that. So, okay, so centre back and the obvious left back, you think, but maybe a striker. Tom?
I'm going to go different here, and I think, obviously, the left back position, but I think we need to swap the Mendes and bring in the Mendy from Real Madrid and bring him in at left back, because I think he's had a great season for Real on that side. He can play in CDM too. And he's got pace. He knows how to defend, which is a key factor that we need to concentrate on. He knows how to defend. It's all right, the attacking side. your front six have got that covered. We need to focus on defensive capabilities, and Ferland Mendy would do that, and also Ben Chilwell. I know that Chelsea are looking to get him, but he's a good player and he knows the Premier League well, and we need somebody like that also if we're looking at that side, because we can't be messing around for another season, like introducing another person to the Premier League. But I reckon if you bring somebody like Ferland Mendy and he can adapt pretty quickly because he's sort of playing the same sort of football already at Madrid. So yeah, one of those two. But it's definitely the left back position and the centre back positions that need working, because I think we're all right midfield and attackers.
We were having a discussion earlier on WhatsApp, me and Kiam, and Kiam was saying with you about Chilwell, and I mean, I saw bits of him the other day, and I didn't think he was that great. But Kiam thinks he's the most consistent left back in the league, and I tend to disagree. Looking at I looked back at stats because he was going on its consistency, and Pereira's the top of the Premier League charts by far as the most consistent left back this season, or defender this season. In there, and I still think Lucas Digne is a better left back than Chilwell, if I'm being honest. But I agree we need somebody, and if it's Chilwell, I'd be more than happy, because if we do have to replace Mendy at some point. But I do still think we'll give him one more season and see how he goes on. Martin, any other positions you think definitely need replacing?
I'm not so much about left back, because I think Mendy, until I see 10, 12 games out of Mendy consistently, then I'll make a judgment. I think we're being a bit harsh at the moment.
Yeah, I agree.
It's all opinion, though.
Aye.
Yeah.
Striker. We need a striker. Because I don't want to get caught with our pants down like we did with Company again. And what worries me is Sergio, as much as he's amazing and he's a god and he's going to get all the accolades that he deserves, he's 33 next year and he's had a serious knee injury now. But we can't hang around. We can't do it. Gabby Jesus is not an answer as a striker. Don't mean sell him, put him on the left wing, as you know. Not a striker for me.
Okay, I'll tell you what, here's a question back for you then. If, let's say we do, and the rumours are true, we buy Coulibaly for 72 million, how much do you think Ben Chilwell will cost? Because the rumours last week were about 80 million quid.
I wouldn't want him.
No, well, let's imagine, let's say we do.
I'm probably going to say about 90 million because we've got the English premium on top.
The rumours last week were saying it was if anybody buys him, it'll be close to 80 million pounds.
Yeah. The trouble is what you've got to remember, for anyone out the Premier League, you've got the Premier League premium, and now you've also got the English premium on top of it. So he's got two premiums on the top.
But the most important thing in that debate is that Leicester don't need money.
No.
They don't need, so they can pretty much like Tottenham with Levy. They'll just we want more. We want more. You know.
Yeah, easily. So let's say 80 million, but that could quite easily Leicester could sit there and go, unless you give us 100 million, it's going nowhere. But let's say 80 million, for example. So 152 million pounds. Okay, on
two defenders
and a left back and two defenders. Yeah, 152 million quid. Plus, then obviously we get Stones and Otamendi maybe off the wage list, and we bring in others. But if we're paying Koulibaly,
Sane off the wage list.
Yeah, well, let's leave Sane for now. But if we got those, if we get Otamendi, that's another pound for the tackle for Manchester. If we got rid of Otamendi and Stones, then that's two ways. But if we're paying Koulibaly the amount we think we might be paying him, then that might be that'll equalise that anyway. But then we're going to pay Ben Chilwell probably a shed load of money to come to City as well. My question to all three of you would be, would you, if we put a bid in, which the rumours are now is in the transfer market as it stands now, £180 million bid for Mbappe, and we don't sign a centre-back and a left-back, would you take that deal or not? Chris?
Wow. We need to talk about. Yes, take Mbappe.
Because we certainly couldn't buy all three, and not on the wages.
No. Why not?
We couldn't, because Mbappe's wages would be more than KDB's.
PSG get away with it.
go. But
Barcelona get away with it.
my question, my hypothetical question tonight, this is my golden question to you, is would you take Mbappe coming to City next season, but we cannot sign a left back and a centre back? We have to go with what we've got.
And is he to play striker?
Yeah. Chris. Oh, well, he can play wherever across the front three.
Oh, well,
In my opinion, mate, we need a centre back, right? We desperately need a centre back. But I want Mbappe. So, I would be that person who would say, let's go for Mbappe and sort out the year after.
Interesting. It's a dilemma. It's a conundrum. Tom?
It's not as hard as me congratulating Liverpool, so I'd go for Mbappe and accept that and take Mbappe because
defense is crap.
Yeah. But the thing is, like Chris said, you've got Lewis Dunk on the market, 20 million.
Oh no, we can't buy anyone else.
No,
you can't buy anybody else. Okay, well I'd still take Mbappe because I still take Mbappe because it's rarer to get a better striker than it is to get a better defender these days. And Mbappe is going to be by far the best striker in the next 10 years. And I think we need to get it. If we had that choice, it'd be taking Mbappe any day because you can get the likes of Ruben Dias or Skriniar the season after or do whatever you need to do. As long as you have that striker sorted, you should be fine. So, yeah, I'd take the Mbappe.
Okay,
deal.
Reluctantly, but full house. That is the only replacement, apart from Haaland, probably that I'd snap for Aguero's. And you're not gonna get it. To me, that's a once in a lifetime deal.
So Man City, Ferran, cheeky. What are you doing?
No, but very quickly.
Koulibaly, forget your Chilwell.
Mbappe had signed himself. He'd sign himself. He'd pay for himself on the shirts.
Easily. The endorsements and everything coming in.
So then you could go and buy Koulibaly. Oh, can I just make one very quick thing on Koulibaly that's not been mentioned? Have you seen who his boot sponsor is?
Puma.
Who's saying Puma aren't going to put any dough in the old ring for this?
Maybe they will. Yeah, maybe they will.
Yeah. Like
as compensation for the absolute crap shirts they've thrown out this year.
Yeah.
It's like with the Leroy deal. I'm not going to go into it, but Adidas are going to do, if it happens, Adidas are going to do what they're going to do for Leroy. So it makes you wonder if Puma will do something for Coulibaly if he comes to us.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So that's a conundrum. That's a question for everybody who's watching this one. If you were given, because let's face it, there's no way we could afford wages and the actual outlay of the transfer fee to buy Chilwell, Koulibaly and Mbappe. It just isn't going to happen. Even if we got rid of Sane and got rid of Stones and Ottoman, we still wouldn't have enough money. But I think the latest rumours were about 180 million there and thereabouts for Mbappe. Would you take not buying a left back, not buying a centre back, if we got Mbappe and just stick with Stones, Otamendi, Laporte, Garcia, Taylor, Howard, Bellis, Mendy, Zinchenko, Walker, Cancelo? Interesting. I know which one I'd go for. It's a full house. I'd definitely take Mbappe without a shadow of a doubt. Don't care about the crap defending.
You're not going to replace Aguero like that ever again.
Yeah. I mean, there's not many players in world football that you would ever even think about replacing Sergio Aguero with. Maybe Haaland for the future, but there's only one at the moment in world football, and that would definitely be Mbappe. But anyway, give us your comments below. This, we said, was going to be part 2, end of. Well, that one ran over. It is going to be part 2. There is going to be a part 3, and that's a golden question. So go and watch part 3. That'll be coming up soon. But this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. That's the end of part 2. Don't forget, check out part 1. And we'll be back for the golden question. We'll see you soon.